Seriously, what purpose do those buttons serve?
There's something to pop off if I need to.
Oh, all right. Anyway, welcome to episode 3 of Layman's Guide to Whiskey with Max and Adam. That's Max. I'm
That's
Adam. And what are we talking about this time, Max?
Stolen whiskey. I actually really like this brand. You know what? Partly just simply because they're open about it, what they do. They don't make it themselves. It's stolen. Fantastic. It's an LDI product.
What is LDI, Max?
Actually, product out of Indiana. They make a lot of the whiskeys that you see on the back bar, but a lot of people are very secretive about it and don't like to talk about it. Stolen is a great one that likes to, hey, this is what we do, this is who we are, and then they do something very unique and make that product their own. And I love that about it. It is a very unique product on that back bar, and nothing else is like it.
A lot of the craft whiskeys that you've seen over the past years have actually come out of a place called LDI/MGP, Midwest Grain Products in Indiana. This is actually an old Seagram's distillery.
Right.
Seagram's whiskey as a company went under in the late 90s, due in part to them investing heavily in the Hollywood film industry.
Well,
so we can actually thank the fact that we have such great products, again, like Four Roses, which is part of that Seagram's umbrella that was being not treated well due to the collapse of Seagram's because of Hollywood. So we here on the West Coast are ruining things constantly.
No truth in the rumor it was porn.
Maybe. But one of the great things about the Seagram system was they really trained distillers well. It was a factory setup that was all about creating high-end distillates that were being blended into things and being used for various purposes. So they had a lot of capability, a lot of training to learn how to do different things. So when people were starting to look for new things to use for their new brand that has a 200-year-old story despite only a 3-year-old trademark, they went to LDI/MGP and bought old whiskey because there was a lot of it left around. Now they don't have so much of the old stuff anymore, and they're distilling new things, and it's still coming from that same spot.
Often. So Stolen, again, one of the brands that's very open about it. It is not a bourbon. Open about that, too. It's 100% corn whiskey, and it has been aged 11 years. Now,
wait, Max, I thought bourbon was corn whiskey.
Yes, but there's other specifications that it does not meet.
Thanks for remembering.
Yeah. So, I'm a big fan of corn whiskey in general, but being from the South, it's because somebody's, uncle made it and you brought it in a jar. Stuff over the counter, I haven't really been a huge fan of. It's just not the same. This is the first 100% corn whiskey that I really like because they do something unique with it. So they age it 11 years, but in used casks. Now, that's one reason why it's not bourbon. But it does allow it to just kind of sit and mellow and open up. And I think that works great with the roundness of the corn that's naturally going to be there. They do one other thing to it that's one more, month-ish with these smoked staves, where they just, basically you're taking used barrels, you take the staves apart, smoke them, drop them in. You actually got to do that Maker's Mark, which is brilliant.
One of the things that people have been doing to try to add extra flavor or change around the traditional flavor profile of American whiskey, because those barrel laws are often very constrictive, is using some sort of extra oak staving or extra oak aging by smaller staves that are dropped in the barrel and aged inside of it. It's also a way for some people. Some people are trying to cheat the system. They're trying to make something that tastes older, faster. Because there's one thing that you can't cheat on whiskey, and that's age, time in the barrel.
So, having said that, by the way, I want you to notice Adam has the fancy glass, and for me, you're lucky I'm using a glass.
I was just going to get you a straw.
Cheers.
Cheers. So first up, on the nose, it smells like corn whiskey, and there's definitely that smoke there. It's
oily, round, corny,
cream corn.
See, I love that there's just a little something else going on. Now, is it your most refined sipping whiskey?
Well, there's definitely a huge barrel presence going on here. That extra oak is definitely taking up a big...
But not overdone.
Well, I mean...
I don't get the huge vanillas. I don't get that huge oakiness. It's just mellowed.
It's mellow, but it's also like liquid oak almost. At least for me. So what's happening here is
part of that comes from the smoke.
It definitely comes from smoke, but it's also corn on its own doesn't have much to stand up against. And this is a used barrel that's being thrown in with a very heavy finishing thing. So what I'm getting a lot of is upfront sweetness finished off with a smoke and a heavy oak that just kind of coats along the back of the palate.
What I like about that is you get that roundness from the corn, but then as it finishes, it actually finishes fairly dry because of all that wood.
It's definitely
and I like
very,
that
very
little
dry.
nice little spiciness at the end. I think for something that for me, is a very moderately priced whiskey, I think it's dead solid. And I'm not going to be mad if my friends come over and drink it all.
You have friends?
Too.
Oh, great.
Well, relatives.
That being said, you're right. There's nothing wrong with this whiskey. It is exactly what it says on the label. It's doing exactly what they're claiming that it does. Is it as romantic? No. But in a world where romance is being oversold versus a product inside of it, I can absolutely see why this is sitting on your back bar.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Cool.
So
if you liked hearing us talk, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to read more things that instead of listening to me talk, you can go to ballandbondla.com and read several things I wrote about whiskey.
Or come see me on Whiskey Tuesdays at Chestnut Club, Santa Monica.
I feel like there's a better alliteration for a whiskey day.
Dan, a Whiskey Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Whiskey Sundays, but that's at my house.
Great. He doesn't wear pants then.
I'm wearing pants now.